My prayer is that we would experience God's love in such a powerful and transformative way that our lives would be a picture of His love and grace to those around us, and they would be drawn to Him because of His grace working through us.
And I'd been full-time for 19 years in the same church, actually, and it was a wonderful thing. The financial situation of the church was not in a place where they could continue the number of staff that they had, and we basically agreed to have my position eliminated. And so I was working part-time, and there was some financial struggles in there, and right in the middle of this sort of transition period, I had this lymph node that began to get enlarged, and when they tested that, it turns out it was aggressive non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I was going to need chemotherapy as soon as possible.
I want to make sure you guys have like a fresh infusion when you come in.
Thank you.
I had 6 infusions, and after 4 of them, I contracted COVID and then pneumonia at the same time, and so the month of November 2020 it's really kind of a blur for me, frankly.
At first it was going fine, he was just sick, he was just at home, and then he began to have really high fevers, and his oxygen level was dropping really low, and the doctor on the phone said, you need to take him to the hospital.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joyce Taylor.
I'm Mark Wright. The big message from today's meeting, stop the gatherings. Officials warn that unless we change our behavior, we will see more cases, more hospitalizations, and more people die.
All of a sudden they call and they say, hey, he's ready to go home. So I go to pick him up. They had told me that if he gets 101 temperature, go ahead and bring him back. I got up in the middle of the night and I just had a feeling that I should check on him. And he wasn't in his room. I came downstairs. He was sitting on the couch, mumbling to himself. I immediately took his temperature. It was 105.5.
When your body is just burning hot and you think you're going to die and you're going to sleep wondering, okay, this may be it, it is a lonely place. One of the things that really helped me through that period of time, I began to really dive into Psalm 23. It says, when I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil because you are with me. It occurred to me that David was completely alone. He didn't have anybody to talk to except for God.
She wants her daddy to hold her. She hasn't been feeling good the last couple of days.
It's not so much the death that is fearful for someone who maybe has been walking with God for a long time, but it's that prior to, it's the pain leading up to it that can be really disconcerting, or who you may be leaving behind. And that is a real fearful thing. And so, yeah, I thought a lot about that.
There was nothing I could do. I can't make him better. I can't pay our bills. I can't leave our house, you know? Like, I was completely out of control. And so I was talking to a friend on the phone and just telling her, we're not okay. We're just not okay. And she said, can I post this on my church's Facebook? And I said, sure, I'll take all the prayer I can get. And so she did that. It wasn't even probably an hour where I got a text from an elder, and he said, can I come to your house and take care of John while you get some rest?
That was just so meaningful to us that he would put himself at risk and want to minister to us in that way. And then my daughter also moved in with us for a period of time to care for me. And that was just incredible. To experience that kind of grace and love from other people that is undeserved was, to me, just such an example of God's grace.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to talk quiet because people are still sleeping. So anyway, I'm feeling better today, a little bit better. In the last couple days, I have not had any energy. I've been sleeping all the time. But I think my high fever is a little bit better.
The only thing I could depend on was, God's gonna take care of me. And, I had to just trust that. But I also just saw that God actually does intervene through his people. And that's his hand when people would show up out of the blue, just like, here, I just felt like you needed this. And, or just like call or tell me they were praying at like just the right moment.
John and Sandra, we continue to pray for relief from pain, healing, and God's provision in your life. You are so loved.
We just found out that my MRI is going to cost me $750. And this is $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $700. Like that, like right when a bill would come that we could, cover, someone would, and I've told nobody that we were going to have an $800 bill. Let's go. I would never wish that experience on anybody in terms of what it took or what happened to me, and yet I wish everybody could experience the grace and love and presence of God that I experienced. Just this overflowing and outpouring of God's love through people, through these acts of sacrifice that people gave for us, or even just through waking up in the morning, through the simple things and then the most profound things, and say, oh, I see, God, I see that you're providing for me, I see that you're with me. To sense those words, I don't fear evil because you are with me. And that sense of with that Jesus gives us is, I don't face anything alone. I don't face anything alone. There's never a pain or a need or a situation or a trial that I ever have to face alone again.